When The Batman came out in March 2022, it wasn't just another reboot. It marked a fresh start for the Caped Crusader. With Robert Pattinson stepping into the role and Matt Reeves at the helm, the film dove into Bruce Wayne's second year of crime fighting. And while it was originally meant to be a standalone project, the way the story wrapped up left the door wide open for a follow-up. Because of how well the movie was received, both critically and commercially, a sequel felt pretty much inevitable. Now there's a bunch of buzz surrounding The Batman Part 2, and fans are eager to know everything, from which characters might return to how the story could unfold, and even if Barry Coogan's Joker will finally get more screen time. So let's get into what's going on with The Batman Part 2. Originally, it looked like The Batman Part 2 would land in theaters in October 2026. Matt Reeves had been working on the script, and things seemed to be on track. But on December 27, 2024, fans got some frustrating news. The movie had been pushed back again, this time to October 2027. Understandably, the delay didn't sit well with a lot of people. James Gunn, who's now leading DC Studios with Peter Safran, actually stepped in on social media to back up the delay. He reminded fans that plenty of iconic films have had long gaps between installments, and it's better to get the story right than to rush it. He also stressed that no DC film is going into production without a solid script, which might hint that Reeves still had some rewriting to do. Either way, the plan is to start filming in 2025. Even though the sequel's still a while off, the world of the Batman isn't staying quiet. In fact, the universe is already starting to expand, thanks to a couple of TV shows. One of the most talked about is The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, aka Oz. That series dropped in September 2024 and was produced by Reeves and Dylan Clark. It follows Oz as he tries to rise through the criminal ranks of Gotham, and it's already hinting at things that could tie directly into The Batman Part 2, especially plans that the Riddler might have set in motion before he was locked up. While there were originally more spin-offs planned, like one about the Gotham Police Department and another centered on Arkham Asylum, most of those seem to be on hold or shelved, except for The Penguin. Still, Reeves' version of Gotham is growing, just at a slightly slower pace than first expected. After The Batman did so well, Warner Brothers didn't waste much time in confirming that Reeves would be returning to write and direct not just one, but two more films. So The Batman is officially becoming a trilogy. And considering how uncertain a lot of other DC properties have been, especially with long-running shows like the Arrowverse wrapping up, fans were pretty happy to hear that Pattinson's brooding take on The Dark Knight isn't going anywhere. Even though filming hasn't started just yet, it's looking like production on The Batman Part 2 will kick off sometime in 2025. Originally, early 2025 was the target, but now a summer or even later start seems more realistic, especially with the recent delay to 2027. That gives Reeves and the team plenty of breathing room to fine-tune everything in post-production and avoid being rushed again. Well, barring any more delays, fingers crossed, The Batman Part 2 is now scheduled for release on October 1st, 2027. That's 5 whole years after the first film hit theaters. It might sound like a long wait, especially by today's superhero movie standards, but it could be a good thing if it means we're getting a tightly written, fully realized sequel. The original Batman film had its own share of delays, mostly due to COVID. Production started right before the pandemic hit and ended up being paused for months. That experience probably made the team a bit more cautious this time around. So far, we know for sure that Robert Pattinson is back as Bruce Wayne, and Colin Farrell will return as the Penguin. Those confirmations came straight from panels at events like San Diego Comic-Con. Pattinson's return is a given, of course, but seeing the Penguin come back is exciting because his role in the sequel will likely be much bigger, especially after the events of The Penguin Show. Other cast members haven't officially been announced yet, but there's a good chance we'll see Zoe Kravitz as Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, again. Jeffrey Wright should be back as Jim Gordon, and Andy Serkis is expected to reprise his role as Alfred. Kristen Milioti, who plays Sophia Falcone in The Penguin, could also show up, depending on where that story leaves off. And then there's Barry Coogan. His Joker had only a small role at the end of the first film, but he made a huge impression. There was even a deleted scene released later showing a pretty intense meeting between the Joker and Batman. The scene didn't make the final cut because the studio didn't want to take attention away from Paul Dano's Riddler, but Coogan's version of the Joker is unlike any we've seen. Scarred, twisted, and with that signature unsettling laugh. So it's looking more and more likely that he'll have a bigger role in the sequel. While we don't have the full plot yet, the Batman left plenty of clues about where the story could go next. At the end of the first movie, we saw the Riddler forming a bond with the Joker in Arkham Asylum. That final scene teases the possibility of a villain team-up, which could spell serious trouble for Gotham. There's also a theory that the Joker's cryptic message might be hinting at the Court of Owls, a secret society made up of Gotham's elite pulling strings from the shadows. And Gotham is in rough shape by the end of the movie. With crime running wild after the fall of Carmine Falcone and Oz Cobb making power moves, the city is ripe for even more corruption. Reeves has said that the Batman Part 2 will take place shortly after the events of the Penguin, so it's safe to assume the show's events will have a big impact on the next movie. Plus, even though Falcone is out of the picture, there's speculation that he might have been working for someone bigger, maybe even the Court of Owls. That twist could set up a much broader threat to Gotham than what we saw in the first movie. While it's highly likely we'll see more of Coogan's Joker, don't expect the entire sequel to revolve around him. Reeves seems to be taking a slow burn approach, gradually building him up instead of rushing into a full-blown showdown. It's possible the Joker's biggest moment might be saved for the final film in the trilogy, allowing him to emerge as the ultimate threat after other pieces of Gotham's puzzle are revealed. And let's not forget the Riddler. He's still alive and locked up in Arkham, and with his connection to the Joker established, he might not be done causing chaos either. Don't hold your breath just yet. Since the movie hasn't started filming, there's no trailer or teaser available. It'll probably be sometime in 2026 before we get a proper look. That said, studios sometimes release concept art or early visuals just to keep fans engaged, kinda like what happened with Joker Folie à Deux. So while a full trailer is still a ways off, we might get something to chew on sooner. So, although the wait is long, there's a lot to look forward to with the Batman Part 2. Between the spin-off shows expanding the universe, the confirmed trilogy setup, and the hints that major villains like the Joker and maybe even the Court of Owls, the future of Gotham is looking both exciting and dangerous. Fans just have to hang in there until 2027, because if Matt Reeves delivers like he did the first time, it'll be worth it. Would you want to see the Joker take center stage, or should the sequel introduce a new villain entirely? And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. And if you want, you can share your thoughts about this video in the comments.